Welcome inside the Treehouse to the Treehouse Football Podcast. Lucky number 13. I'm Dan O'Malley, along with Trey Trenholm and Raj Sharma. Together, we will put our collective stupid heads together to not only analyze, break down, but also make fun of our Dallas Cowboys. Because not enough others do. At least not within our own fan base. Other fan bases all the time. Skip Bayless is a joke in his own right as a Cowboys fan. Stephen A. Smith is the biggest troll on the planet to Cowboys fans. We're a notch or two below that, but I think we're better. What a beautiful surprise DaRon Bland has turned out to be for the Dallas Cowboys. Unless you're Dan Quinn, defensive coordinator, in which case he planned this all along because he was asked after DaRon Bland's record-breaking fifth pick six in a season, which, by the way, he did it in 12 weeks. So there's no asterisk to go next to the record like he did it in that additional week that the schedule now has that didn't have, with the previous record. He gets it in 12 weeks. Extremely impressive. He could actually extend the record. And with the pace he's on, he probably will get a couple more. But Dan Quinn actually said that's the kind of guy that we look for coming out of college. We check not just their speed and their 40 and, their vertical and all that stuff. They're looking at, did they get turnovers in college? Because if they did, chances are they have a knack for it, and it'll carry over into the NFL. Oh, and also the Cowboys blew out another team. Happy Thanksgiving to us all.
Well, I would like to just say to all the Cowboys fans out there, you're welcome. I think
I'm you, Raj, to take credit for DaRon Bland's success.
I'm 100% responsible for this.
And remind us why that is.
Because of the jinx that I put on Trayvon Diggs. When I said he's looking good, what was it, week 2? Said he's looking good, and in practice, blows out the ACL. Who did they replace?
I think it was the next day. I think you said it on a Wednesday, and then his ACL snapped the next day because word, traveled from Addison up the tollway to the Star in Frisco, and your words snapped Trayvon Diggs' ACL. Perhaps it was DaRon Bland in the training room with some scissors.
No, it went into the universe. The universe conspired, and his ACL was unfortunately severed, and he was out for the season. They replaced him with DaRon Bland, and I remember texting you guys, and I went, see, I think you guys might be right. And Dan responded back like, you did this. So if that's the case, then I'm responsible for DaRon Bland. And to everybody out there, you're welcome.
Trey, do we allow it?
I'm okay with it, but I want to clip that, send it to the Cowboys, and then see if Trayvon Diggs in front row at one of Raj's shows.
With his own scissors.
Yeah.
He just cuts the mic cord.
Yeah. It's interesting, though, because as a Cowboys fan, I wonder if you guys are having the same feelings I am, which is I'm greedy. The franchise has 5 Super Bowls in its history, 2 with Staubach, 3 with Aikman. We all know that. And it's been, close to 30 years since the last one. But we're still greedy. We're not happy with 10, 11, 12, 13 win seasons. We want the big one again. And I don't just want the big one again, but now that I've got a DaRon Bland with, 5 pick sixes in a season, I want Trayvon Diggs back as well. So I want Diggs, Bland, and Gilmore back there. I'm greedy. It's not going to happen this year, but I in a perfect world, I dream, and that's what I dream of right now.
Well, let's not put the cart before the horse, but maybe next year your dream can come true with all 3 in the backfield. That would be pretty amazing. But let's, it's just the team looks good. I think that Trey was talking about this was going to be the game where you can see what it's kind of going to be like for the remainder of the season, and have they stepped it up to where they can all work on the same page. And I think that's what we saw.
Trey, do you still feel that way after the performance against the Commanders on Thanksgiving?
No, I'm still.
I'm
the
with
Commanders.
you. Don't
the
be
Commanders
ashamed.
look
I'm with you.
So inept that you're like, all right, is I don't know. I want to say, excuse me. I want to say yes, but and here's the other problem is.
Go ahead. Just hawk it up. Get it out of your system.
If it weren't for the fact that the team that I consider probably the best in the NFL is in their division, I might have a different outlook on everything. But that that's the biggest problem is everything you're comparing. You're looking at the Cowboys and go, then you watch the Eagles and go, damn, they're good. I mean that game against Kansas City.
Yeah, but I think you're also that's how you're gauging everything is. You'll watch the Cowboys play and then you'll watch the Eagles play. And I think if you compartmentalize it, the Cowboys look really, really good. And they look very in sync as a team. They're going to face the Eagles. That's the fact. And they're just unstoppable at this point. And so hopefully what we saw with the Commanders and how in sync they were and how cutthroat they were. It was really nice. It was they played very, and I don't know if they're playing aggressive because it's a weaker team. So they think they can come in and just bully them around. If that's the case, then we're in trouble. But if they approach every team as that with that same aggression, then we're good.
Yeah, because that is one of the things that the Cowboys of the 90s had, besides a murderous Troy Aikman, was that swag was something that Michael Irvin brought to the team, and it was infectious. And this team definitely, when it does well, it gets confident and does good things. Mm-hmm. But it has a tendency to be a little soft when things don't go their way. They have a difficult time battling back and overcoming. And that's kind of what we saw with that first matchup against the Eagles. They were extremely competitive. It was a good litmus test to see where the Cowboys were at that point, especially after getting blown out by the 49ers a few weeks prior. But now we've got the Seahawks and then that Eagles rematch again to see, okay, now that we have more games into this season, we see what the Eagles are. We see what the Cowboys are capable of, but can they be that dominant against another dominant team? Or is it same old Cowboys for the past 3 decades in their winning seasons, which are beat up on bad teams and then lose to the good ones?
Right. And I think that's what, if that's the case, if what we saw with the Commanders is them just bullying a weaker team and taking that as, or adding that to their swag, to their attitude walking into stuff, and then they walk into the Eagles thinking they're going to do that, then we're in really big trouble. Because if you look at who has that natural, like you were talking about, that Michael Irvin attitude, that's CeeDee Lamb. He's got that. And Deron Bland, and I'm trying to figure out who else does. Because
but we're also talking about the vocal aspect that Michael Irvin brought.
Yes,
because CeeDee has that flash and everything on the field during his play, but I think off the field he's actually pretty quiet.
Yeah,
but then again, no one is as loud as Michael Irvin, so maybe it's a difficult comparison.
Well, I think
it's very true.
The Cowboys' defense is as good as anyone in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what is when you meet another team that has an a defense equal to them, then it goes to the offense. And then and that's still where my question lies is, can we put points on the board? Because we still have a tendency to stall out in the red zone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and again, yeah, we scored a bunch against crappy teams, but against the good ones. And then it all of a sudden goes back, and Dak is putting up great numbers. But, can he bring that intangible to that the great quarterbacks have to get your team to the win?
Yeah.
Can he sling them on his Cowboys papoose and carry them, where all of us want them to go?
Yeah, and I think you just said it right there, Dan. I think they all have to want to go to the same place. They have to all. as a combined effort, want to go to. And I think everybody does. I think everybody's dream when they're in the NFL is like, oh, I want to go to a Super Bowl. But do you want? Like, how bad is your want?
Right. It's one of those things like I can sit there and dream about it, but at the end of the day, for me, it's just a fantasy because I don't have any. Raj does. I don't have any actual control over the play of the team. So
Yes.
they have to decide for themselves. Like, you're right. They can wake up in the morning and be like, no, but Super Bowl would be nice. But then you still got to go to practice and work for it as opposed to just thinking, oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
And I do think there are enough guys on the team that they can do that, especially when you throw in a Micah Parsons level talent.
Yes. And I think as the NFL has lip readers, and I'm sure the Cowboys do as well, they need me on the sideline as well for every game. And I will do that free of charge at every game to wish ill to the other team's players and make the magic that I do happen in that moment.
I appreciate your volunteerism, Raj.
Thank you.
I think it's very, very big of you, very magnanimous, if I can throw out a few syllable word there. But don't sell yourself short. I learned some important life advice from Heath Ledger's Joker in The Dark Knight Rises, and that is, if you're good at something, you should never do it for free. So, they don't necessarily have to pay you your normal fee for, say, doing an hour of stand-up, but at least get you a bar tab.
Yeah, I was going to say parking because I don't know if you've been to the stadium.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you get free parking and a bar tab.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
that's like $1,000.
Yeah. And an extra $100, I might get a hot dog.
Might.
Drunk Raj on the sideline. All of a sudden, the refs are snapping their ACLs.
He's the worst X-Men of them all. Like, he can't control his powers.
Eagles mascot. And they're dropping like flies.
You got to
do that. Yeah. And I would gladly do all of that for free.
Roger Goodell sends a text to somebody saying, someone get that man a hot dog. It's going to be the end of us all.
I'm like the drunken Benny Hinn of the NFL. I start waving my hand around, and the stadium starts. People in the stands start collapsing. I'm like,
I think that makes you the opposite of Benny Hinn. Benny Hinn was trying to heal people, and you're just out there, incapacitating them.
Well, he's going to need people to
play the game. Namaste. ACL.
It just sounds like bubble wrap popping all over the field. That'd be a hell of a highlight package on SportsCenter. Is there a sniper in the stadium? No, it's that Raj guy with the.
Every orthopedic surgeon in North Texas is like, keep feeding him drinks.
Yeah.
They all just start circling the stadium. They fly over with the helicopter and start dropping business cards.
Yeah, see, now that's actual entertainment, is what I'm saying. That is what fans would want to see, is just mayhem, just drunken Raj just killing people.
Meanwhile, they cut to Dak's face, and he's looking around like, "Oh my god, wow!"
That mesmerized look that he has all the time.
Yeah, the one there he looks lost, like he just got punched in the mouth. Unfortunately, how he sometimes looks against the Eagles. I think we can do this, Raj. Even if we have to sneak you in somehow.
I'm willing to. Maybe we can put together. We'll talk about it. Maybe at the live show. Maybe we can put a fund together. Get me close enough to the opposing team. And I'll have a Jameson to see just to feel it out. And if it's not working, maybe the power is not working. Maybe a second one. And
you're going to need at least two.
Yeah, and then
and keep in mind, we could probably get you on the field to carry out this entire mission because NFL security doesn't seem to be up to speed with who everybody is. Did you guys see Did you guys see the security guard almost stop Matt LaFleur from the Packers on the field because he didn't recognize him as the head coach.
Wow, I did not see that. That's wild. And then
It's one of the very few times where I was okay with someone saying, "Do you know who I am?"
Yeah, that's I don't know how that. Maybe he's new. Maybe new security guy. I don't know. But I'm saying like if we can get me close, and then just give me a list of who needs to be taken out, and because
based on the officiating during Eagles games, let's start with the officials.
Yeah.
Number one on my hit list.
Yeah.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com. You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
We are back to the Treehouse Football Podcast. I think we've pretty sufficiently broken down the Commanders-Cowboys game on Thanksgiving.
Speaking of kind of the home-cooked officiating, did you all see the Bills-Eagles game?
yes, oh my God, that was.
I did not see the whole game, but I saw the highlights, and I saw numerous clips of the extremely poor officiating, if I can be so bold as to be so inflammatory as to say poor officiating.
Almost dangerous because there was one point where there was blatant horse collar on Josh Allen. They ripped the man's jersey.
Not only it was a blatant horse collar, but then they called Josh Allen for intentional grounding when really it's like the centrifugal force of him getting whipped around by the horse collar drives his arm and the ball into the ground, and they're like, that's on you, Josh.
That to me seems like the NFL officiating equivalent of throwing a personal foul flag for hitting yourself. You call personal foul, 15 yards, number 17 on the offense. He was hitting himself, and we just can't stand for it, so we're going to benefit the Eagles here.
I mean, the last time I saw that poorly officiated game was in Remember the Titans.
You mean the Klan game?
I mean, and I'm not really one to blame, to say, we can all complain about officials, but do they really, I guess, unless you're Chris Paul, do they really affect the outcome of the game?
Mm-hmm.
But
no, there was a part where they played it back in slow motion because even the booth couldn't understand how that wasn't a horse collar.
Yeah.
And you can see the ref looking directly at what is happening, and it's not getting called. And you were talking about intentional or hurting yourself and getting penalized. Didn't they kind of do that to Plaxico Burress when he shot himself? Like, didn't they kind of go, "Hey, man, you hurt yourself. You're suspended."
I do believe they suspended him for shooting himself in his own leg in a nightclub.
How insulting is that? It's like, how are you? I shot myself. I know. And
that
because you did
NFL
that to you,
right
because you did that to you, you're out.
I mean, even the police, if you're in a one-car accident and you're drunk, they usually just leave it alone because you've suffered enough. No, not the NFL.
They're going to get there. You're going to get suspended. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's like, really? Sorry, you're feeling better? Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Doctor says it's not life-threatening? Yeah. Suspended without pay. That's what you are.
That's actually why it's a natural progression for us to discuss football, especially the NFL, because on the regular Treehouse podcast, we deal with stupid all the time. We've done it in our careers for its entirety. So it's very natural to carry that over into talking about the NFL because about the only thing dumber than us is the NFL.
Yes, and I just don't know. Here's my and again, it goes back to like I have questions. As the NFL, when they're watching that, because everything's live streaming in New York, so they're seeing it at the same time. How nobody there is going, we need to call and replay this and show this to whoever that ref is that's staring at Josh Allen getting murdered. Because what if he would have gotten injured? How do you live with yourself with that? Like, how do you walk away from that game going, I refed the best I could? Like, that always
you probably on the flight home You probably give yourself a stern talking to in the airplane bathroom. But then at the same time, when you leave the airplane bathroom, you're surrounded by the entire Eagles team who've paid for your trip, along with all the food and the drinks and the women or the men, whatever. And
or both.
at the same time, whatever. So they make you feel better about it. That's my assumption. But it really does. One of the greatest. I like seeing online growth hacks or ways to make your life simpler. Videos online. Like I watched one the other day, how to fold clothes. Not the way I do it, but like the really cool, smart way where you get like no wrinkles and stuff. I'm like, that's brilliant. And the Eagles have found something similar, and that is their defensive backs have figured out how to tackle the wide receivers before they catch the ball and not get called for it. Because it happened in that Bills game. They did it on the goal line with Schoonmaker against the Cowboys, being tackled before the ball is even there, no penalty.
Yeah, I was going to bring up that pass interference. That was, I think, the third quarter, and it was so blatant. Even it's sometimes the booth will give them a pass, like, oh well, the ref didn't see that. He was kind of pushing, and he was, his arm was tangled in his arm, and what they were basically like, they're like, that was, I don't know how they're not calling this. And when you have the booth saying that, when you have people, the color commentary going, I can't believe this is happening. I don't know how New York doesn't go, we need to stop and see what's going on. We need to talk to these refs and go, hey, how are you missing this? And show them. It's like a teacher in school. Like, here's what you did wrong.
Yeah.
Now go back to your desk and don't do that anymore.
Right. And because we're all from the age of being paddled in school, I want you to give him the talking to at midfield, then pull his pants down and bring out the coach's paddle.
or belt.
Yeah. Trey's dad's weapon of choice.
Belt, the official ass whooper of the NFL.
Yeah, we'll get Roger Goodell made when it's just a ref.
He's on the Jumbotron just holding it. Like,
smacking his hand going.
All right, so I don't want to do what I don't want the Cowboys to do, and that is to look past the Seahawks game to the Eagles rematch, which is obviously very easy to do because the Cowboys are on a roll. They have they've won every game that they've played since losing to the Eagles. They're on a roll offensively. They're scoring points left and right. And now they get the Seahawks tonight. And just a couple of weeks ago, I believe they had the same record as the Seahawks, and the Seahawks have struggled a little bit the last couple of weeks. So, again, I don't want us to look past the Seahawks, and I certainly don't want the Cowboys to.
Yeah, it goes back to, are we going to come in with that attitude of bullying a weaker team, or are we coming in going, we need to get past them to the Eagles?
Right.
That's all, as efficiently as possible. And then also find out how much gum Pete Carroll can chew.
That is a frightening thing to see.
That guy who
chews more gum, Pete Carroll or Dave Grohl?
Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he could snap. I'm like snap a tree with his jaw. That's I'm like
in the off season he just lives with beavers in the Pacific Northwest.
I could actually see that. That's
I can actually see the beavers with him going, that's really impressive what he can do with those teeth.
That's we adapted over thousands of years. That's just chewing gum. That's amazing. I hope they come in with a precision of, this is the game plan from here on out, as we play like we played the last time every time. And that's it's not bullying anybody. It's not, we think you're weaker. It's just you're in our way.
Yes.
To getting to where we want to go.
And we're offended that you're standing in our way. It's and not to trivialize it, but I think there is some, truth to the motivational aspect of this. Like at Notre Dame, when the players come out of the tunnel, they've got that sign over the head that they all touch, play like a champion today, right? Mm-hmm. Making sure that's the right one. That's the mentality that they need to have every single game, every single practice. And I hope that that's what's being drilled into their heads.
Yeah, I would hope so.
It's a cliche. Just take care of business. I mean, that's go out there. It doesn't have. It doesn't have to be sexy. It doesn't have to be just start out, keep the ball, score points, and just
win the game.
Cruise, to a win, and don't get anyone hurt, and get to the next week.
I just love Trey's methodology of the NFL is like old. It's like Varsity Blues, where you're I can't remember his name, the coach's name in that movie, but he's like
John Voight.
Yeah, well, John Voight, but I can't coach whatever his name was. Killian,
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. But he's like, just grind the ball. If we grind the ball, we control the pace. So every time I see Trey start talking about it doesn't have to be sexy. All I see is John Voight. And he's like
3 yards and a cloud of dust.
Speaking of taking care of business and things that are sexy, I think it would be important for us to point out and to acknowledge the wondrous news that happened in the Dak Prescott household, because he took care of business, or depending if you're as cynical as I am, his girlfriend took care of his business, and Dak's going to be a daddy. I think she posted it on Instagram, something about blessed, and she's half naked with the baby bump and everything. And then he comments or reposts it saying "dad girl incoming." So yay Dak. I mean,
yeah, that's great. Congrats. I mean, I love how private he has managed to keep his social life and all the things that come with that. Most people get scrutinized even by their own hometown of what's going on. He posted a couple days before that, they were at the Star where he celebrated her birthday, and they took a picture, and I guess it was done on purpose to where you couldn't see, I guess, past their neck, and it was like you can just see the candle glowing on a cake, and it was like, happy birthday or whatever it was. And then 3 days later, I was like, well, that was fast.
And this is on the newer side of a relationship, because I still remember the previous girl that he was with. But again, you're right. He's kept those all pretty quiet. He's sort of in between Aikman and Romo as far as Cowboys quarterbacks' personal lives, because Aikman really had very little discussed. And because of that, we now have Skip Bayless on national TV saying even dumb, like completely ridiculous things, because he said, well, if Troy's not out there screwing people, he's gay. And then you have the opposite, which is Romo's like, I'm the quarterback of the Cowboys. I'm screwing everybody. I want all the starlets, all the blonde singers, line them up.
Didn't Troy date a country singer too at one point?
Lori Morgan, yeah,
that's who it is. That's who it was. He was.
They were supposedly linked for a while, but that was all you heard about as far as Aikman, because when Aikman played, he was married to football.
Yeah,
his girlfriend was Michael Irvin.
See, now you're just spreading rumors.
You know what? It doesn't have to be true, and then I can say dumb stuff like Skip Bayless, and I'll be a millionaire on TV.
Do we know that is the due date for Dak after football season?
I'm going to assume yes.
Okay,
because I know we're supposed to be PC and 21st century and all that kind of stuff, but you don't get paternity leave during the playoffs.
Yeah, but I think
wouldn't that be a bitch?
No,
that'd be one word. It's not the word I was expecting out of your mouth, but it's a word.
Just make sure there's no distractions. Just in the off. We get to February. Let's make sure that Dak's focused on football.
Yeah, I love Trey.
Diapers.
Yeah, if you want to go full dad mode during OTAs, please do it. Go for it. I don't even mind if you do it during part of training camp. But when the season starts, you play.
I love you guys, man. You're
hilarious.
If
he needs to practice changing a diaper, he can work on Jerry.
God damn. I love you guys.
And that's why Raj is never going to be invited to the sideline.
If we could get Raj a Johnny Walker Blues sponsorship, then he would be.
Oh.
I don't like scotch. I'll take Jameson, and I'll snap some bitches' legs. Let's do it.
Cowboys, Seahawks tonight. And in case you're listening at another time, I hope it was a win. But be sure to join us right here in the Treehouse for the Treehouse Football Podcast each and every week. Coming up tomorrow, the Friday version of the regular stupid Treehouse Podcast. We'll see you there.